You might see that in the end zone Sunday.
Moving on to another team that's dying for a championship, also knows a lot about injuries. Will the Cavs get revenge for last season's NBA Finals? In a poll of NBA GMs that is currently up on NBA.com, over half predicted Cleveland will win the championship this season. The next closest were the Spurs at 25%, and the defending champion Warriors took 17.9% of the vote. Stephen A., do you agree that the Cavs will win the NBA title over all those West teams?
I reserve the right to revisit this topic as the season progresses, of course. I reserve the right to revisit this topic when we're making our preseason predictions.
Okay.
But at this particular moment, I'm not inclined to say so. And by the way, in order to get revenge, the team they would have to get revenge against is the team who beat them in the NBA Finals, which would happen to be the Golden State Warriors, which I don't believe is going to happen because I don't believe the Golden State Warriors are going back to the NBA Finals. I got nothing but mad love and respect for that franchise, that team, the Splash Brothers. Steph Curry was my MVP. I think he is the greatest marksman in the history of basketball.
All right.
I have never seen a shooter better than Steph Curry. Klay Thompson and all of those boys can play. But I think this is a new day. And I'm here to tell you right now, first of all, I'm inclined to believe, and again, I reserve the right to revisit this, but at this particular moment in time, I would have to say to you, Skip Bayless.
Oh, no.
I think the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to knock off your Spurs. I think Kevin Durant.
Wait, do you reserve the right to change that pick by next, say, Tuesday or so?
Sure, I do,
okay,
but I don't think I will.
Okay.
I think I'm looking at Oklahoma City as the team to beat in the West.
Okay.
Even though I'm looking at the Clippers as well. DeAndre Jordan still has to hit free throws.
Are you sure you're not worried that somebody will step on Kevin Durant's foot?
Well, that's true.
Okay, you threw it at me. I get to throw it back at you.
No, but we're talking about a game this upcoming weekend when it comes to Des Bryant and the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm talking about the season. When you look at the season, my prognostications are based solely on everyone being healthy. Of course, injuries change everything. But I would say to you that I think Oklahoma City is the team to watch out for most in the West because I think Russell Westbrook is a superstar. And I think Kevin Durant is a superstar. And I think the combination of that, having Enes Kanter in the middle, although he plays no defense, the fact that he's good for 18 and 10 a night. Serge Ibaka, being the defensive wizard that he is, also capable of contributing. Dion Waiters, being able to do some things with you, along with Anthony Morrow and those boys. Yeah. I think they got a shot. But let me get to the Eastern Conference. You know, everybody's been talking like the Cleveland Cavaliers is just going to cakewalk to the NBA Finals.
That's what the GM said.
I was in Miami last week interviewing Dwayne Wade. Part of that interview airs today on SportsCenter. Another part of it airs next week, the part about him and LeBron. Let me say this to you. I looked at Hassan Whiteside. He's gotten a bit bigger. It's a big boy. Agile.
Yep.
Runs the floor, defends, block shots. I watched LeBron James dominate primarily because LeBron James needed to become a post player once Kyrie Irving's health was compromised and he had to rely on the services of Matthew Dellavedova. I'm here to tell you something right now. LeBron, he can't be posting up against Miami if Hassan Whiteside is down low. He's going to have to turn into a perimeter shooter. And we all know that he can hit shots. And we all know that Cleveland is the favorite. And I am willing to concede that the Cleveland Cavaliers should be the favorites. But it would not surprise me at all if the Miami Heat ended up knocking them off. I'm telling you right now, no disrespect to Milwaukee, who I think will be better. They were good. They're getting Jabari Parker back from his ACL injury, Achilles rather, not to mention the fact that they acquired Greg Monroe. They beat out New York and L.A. Milwaukee beat out New York and L.A. for the services of Greg Monroe. To add to that team, Milwaukee is a team to watch out for. Washington is a team that I will pay attention to. To some degree, I'll watch out for Indiana because of Paul George's return. But I'm here to tell you right now, I think the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers are on a collision course for the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm not ready to sit there and say that it's a foregone conclusion that Cleveland will beat them. So I got news for you. You can sit up there and talk about LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers all you want to. I certainly believe that San Antonio could and would beat Cleveland, okay? I definitely think Oklahoma City would have a shot. If the Clippers were fortunate enough to get there because DeAndre Jordan learned how to hit free throws and they got to the finals, I think they would have a shot. But long before any of that, I would caution everybody to pump the brakes on assuming that it is destiny for the Cleveland Cavaliers to get back to the NBA Finals, because I think Pat Riley and the Miami Heat are going to have something to say about that come postseason time.
I am so with you on Miami, but yet again, for the third, maybe fourth straight year as we sit in these seats, does it not come down to the health of the man you just interviewed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you tell me he's 92% healthy most of the year, I'm with you.
Well,
they have a shot.
What I would tell you is that for the first time in 5 years, he was off from April, not June. Those additional 2 months, that's a very big deal.
I'm with you.
I would also tell you and prioritize the fact that playing a full season is not the priority. If Dwayne Wade plays 50 to 60 games, Pat Riley and the Miami Heat are perfectly fine for that as long as he is ready to go this postseason.
Okay.
So when you combine that with Bosh returning healthy, Hassan Whiteside, Luol Deng,
Love him.
Goran Dragic.
Yep.
Whoa.
Agreed.
I'm just saying.
Agreed. I'm a whoa on that also. Okay, back to the poll. So 54% of the GMs polled say Cleveland will win the NBA championship. Next down the list, a long ways down the list, is 25% said San Antonio will win. So back to that premise. I get it that Cleveland has a much better chance of winning the East than the Spurs do the West. Right. Because clearly the Spurs are going to have to deal with Oklahoma City, as you point out. They're still, aren't the Warriors still, are they still playing? Or are they still, they didn't disband after they won, right?
That's right.
Okay, and they got big chips on their shoulder. They got a chip and a chip, right? They got a championship, and they got a chip on their shoulder because nobody's giving them any. Yeah, so they got only 17% of the vote. So Spurs will have to deal with Golden State. They'll have to deal with the Clippers. They'll have to deal with the Rockets, and I could keep going on all the way down to the Pelicans, because they're going to have to deal with the Pelicans, who knocked them for a loop in the last regular season game of last year.
That is correct.
Okay, I get all that. But to me, in the end, if this proves true, then the Cavs are still going to have to deal with the Spurs in the finals, if the GMs are correct. So how could 54% say the Cavs will beat the Spurs in the finals? Because that's basically what they're saying. Am I right? They're saying that the Cavs are going to win it all. I do not see it. I think it would be basically a mismatch of these Spurs against these Cavaliers. And I'm going to point out to you, and I don't know how it's going to resolve itself, but the Tristan Thompson situation remains troubling for this basketball team. It is.
It's really, let's say what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, I respect the hell out of David Griffin and the job that I believe he should have gotten a backup quarterback other than Matthew Dellavedova to Kyrie Irving. But by and large, David Griffin to me was my executive of the year last year. Yeah. I thought he did a phenomenal job. Having said that, it is a damn travesty.
It is.
That they don't have Tristan Thompson signed. Seriously.
All right, so I'm going to remind everyone. The Spurs did go get LaMarcus Aldridge when nobody thought they could. And they did get David West at the biggest basement bargain you could ever get, where David West said, I don't care about the money. I'm going to take almost nothing compared to what I could have had to stay in Indiana just to win a ring here with these guys. And you throw in the fact they kept Kawhi and kept Danny Green and brought Manu back. Ray McCallum Jr. I really like him as a backup to Tony Parker. You're loaded. Kyle Anderson is emerging as, I'm not going to say a star, but a factor for this team. So I'm going 10, 11 deep already. How are the Cavs going to beat that team? I don't think they can.
I'll go a step further for you, Skip. I think the Spurs' challenge is all and entirely in the West. It does not matter who comes out of the East. I don't believe they're beating the Spurs.
All right, I'm with you. So we agree.
Get to the finals.
Right.
They win.
The poll is completely upside down. Now, back to your premise that the Thunder, at this moment, you think, could oust the Spurs.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to stand by this all year. You talk about how Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook are superstars, and I'm saying they're too super. Kevin's too super, and Russell's too super, and the twain will never meet. I think they will have a hard time figuring each other back out, because they didn't play together all that much last year because one was hurt, the other was hurt, one was hurt. I think that will constantly be a clash for them that they won't be able to resolve into the playoffs. These two together will never win a championship. That's I'm going to stand by that.
I refuse to believe that. I think that Kevin Durant is too elite of a player and Russell Westbrook is too elite of a player and a competitor. That fire in his belly is something that I admire. And I think that having tasted losing in a championship series still gnaws away at Russell Westbrook more so than any other human being on the planet.
Okay.
I think he wants it bad. With the personnel that they have in place, as great as we know Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and those boys to be, they are a year older. They have no answer for a Russell Westbrook. You can think it's Kawhi Leonard all you want to. That is the one guy that I don't believe, meaning Russell Westbrook. That is the one guy that I believe Kawhi Leonard wants no part of. Anybody else, different. But Russell Westbrook is the one guy that I don't believe Kawhi Leonard wants any part of. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, this is the last hurrah, I believe, for Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook together, right?
I will tell you this. I'm told, sorry to ruffle any feathers, I hope this doesn't cause controversy.
Yep.
I am told that if not Russell Westbrook, I am told that if Kevin Durant doesn't win the title this year in Oklahoma City, he's probably out.
Okay, I got
That's what I'm told. That's what I'm told.
I would assume that.
That's what I'm told. He wants the title bad. If he doesn't win the title in Oklahoma City, then it doesn't look good for them. I don't rule out anything with Sam Presti. Remember, OKC has more money to offer him than anybody else could. So, I mean, if he wants the money, that's the place to be. That's the place to stay. But I'm told that this year is very, very pivotal to the future of that franchise, because if they don't win the chip, Kevin Durant will be looking to move on.
Okay, well then he will be looking to move on.
Well, I don't believe that. I think they got a shot. I think they got a shot to win it all.
But in the East, if healthy, we both agree that it'd be the Cavs and the Heat
I'm telling you they're my favorite, but I'm not ruling out the Miami.
I need to point out one thing here. According to Basketball Power Index, the Heat have an 8% chance to make the NBA Finals.
Well, they can say what they want. I'm telling you, forget D-Wade for a second. This kid, Hassan Whiteside,
he's big
the way he defends and blocks shots and patrols the paint area. When you have something like that, forget the 82 regular season games. Come postseason time, when you have an individual that can patrol the inside like that, that is a very, very big deal. The Jason Kidd, who I think has proven himself to be a brilliant young coach, he didn't go and get Greg Monroe for nothing. And Greg Monroe has to improve defensively, don't get me wrong. But there's a reason he went and got that
matchup to watch. East getting a little more interesting. All right, up next we move to college hoops. It's the scandal that is rocking the University of Louisville. More on the latest when we return. And on this Back to the Future Day, we're pushing forward. Lots of good topics to be tackled by Stephen A. and Skip. Don't miss a beat by checking out our complete rundown, which of course you can find on IG. Back in a few.